and find that it's cracked. Surprising that you don't pick it up before you go up.
That's probably because some pitcher picked it up and used it in batting practice.
And you want to find them and
You'd like
kill
to
him.
find the pitcher and kill him, is right. Crack it again.
Oh, there's Frankie V. He was somewhat relieved yesterday after his first win of 1990 because, as he said in the pregame show last year, he absorbed a lot of losses, and that'll knock your confidence down. Well, here's the first pitch of the rubber game. Fastball down low, ball one. One and 0 on Barry Bonds. Doesn't like the leadoff slot, but here he is right now in the leadoff slot. He pops the ball up. It's playable. Tough play for a catcher, but Barry Lyons with those soft hands makes the catch. One down.
Well, Barry Bonds with 17 leadoff home runs in his major league career. His daddy had 35, the all-time record, 36 at this point. Ricky Henderson with 36 leadoff home runs, but Barry's done a good job as a leadoff batter.
He doesn't like it. That stat you gave is an indication that Barry, like his dad, a good fastball hitter.
That is true. A leadoff batter sees a lot of fastballs.
And Jay Bell's the batter.
You get down there in that fifth position where he wants to hit, you see a lot of breaking balls because you usually have men on base.
First pitch to Bell up high, ball one. Plus, Ralph, you batted in the fourth slot your whole career. It's a different mentality because you are supposed to drive in the run. In the leadoff slot, it's gravy.
Yeah, the best thing you can do there is get on base, and if you get hit by a pitch or walk, they say, hey, good job.
There's a high fly ball. Shallow center field. Miller coming in, Elster going back, and Elster gloves it. Two down.
Well, Sid off to the type of ball game he usually pitches. A lot of fly balls. In fact, he was the starting pitcher in the only game in the National League in the history of the National League where there were no assists in the ball game. And Sid was the starting pitcher in that ball game. There were 13 strikeouts, 12 flyouts, 2 unassisted groundouts at first base.
2 men down now. Mentioned the other day the word Pittsburgh across the chest of the Pirates for the first time on their road uniform since 1952.
You had to have a lot of broad-chested guys to put that
really
on the uniform.
As Gary Reedus fouls the ball out of play.
Now here's a situation right here. Reedus, a fly ball hitter, and you got a fly ball pitcher. What are the odds that he'll hit a ground ball? Pretty slim.
And this guy here might have an impact on this ball game defensively because he's not a first baseman. He's playing first base. They say he can make an outstanding play and follow it up by booting a routine grounder. In fact, one of the reasons they say that Bobby Bonilla had a bad year at third base last year with errors on a lot of throws was because Sid Bream was out most of the year.
And Bream not playing here today with the left-hand pitcher going.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. As Ralph said, popped up. And let the sure man get it, and he does. So the Pirates here in the first, 3 up, 3 down. We played a half inning, no score on a chilly day at Shea.
There, 1946, my first year was Frankie Frisch. Then they had Billy Myers, who spent years and years in the minor leagues and became an outstanding major league pitcher. And then Fred Haney, who was an ex-major league ball player, an old guy.
1 and 2 on Greg Jeffries. We tend more to go to the younger manager today. You got to have a young manager in New York, no doubt about it. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Slap. This could be a base hit. Infield hit for number 9, Greg Jeffries. That's what power will do for you also.
Well, Jeffries led off the game yesterday with a home run, his third leadoff home run since coming to the Mets, and now he hits one about 30 feet. They both count as base hits.
Sometimes a hit like that can get you more during the game. Get you relaxed. You thank the Lord for that hit. You know he's on your side that day. So Jeffries leading off first base, and the batter now, Keith Miller. Miller's stats from last year: 231, 1 home run, 7 RBIs, and Heaton checks Jeffries at first base. Keep in mind, Gary Reed is really an outfielder playing first base today because of Sid Fernandez. Sid Fernandez will make you change your lineup. Sid Breen, the left-handed hitting first baseman, out of the lineup in favor of Gary Reedus.
Also out of the lineup, Lavalier, the catcher, who is a left-hand batter, and they are catching Tom Prince.
We're catching Prince because Don Slott is still nursing a bad leg. The pitch to Miller is way inside, 1-0. By the way, the Yankees opened up over in the Bronx today. They're leading the Cleveland Indians 4-2. They're in the bottom of the 7th inning.
And after being snowed out yesterday, the Cubs are losing to the Phillies 5-2 in that game in the 7th.
And Heaton checking Jeffries. Ray Miller, the pitching coach with the Pirates. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Down low, 2-0. We're told Ray Miller might be giving signals to Tom Prince. We'll check it out. We'll see where Prince looks. There's Miller, and Prince looks into the dugout. Miller looks to left field, goes to his nose. I'm glad I'm not catching this game. I'd never figure out what he wanted. Too complicated. 2-0 pitch. Down low, 3-0.
Doesn't make a whole lot of difference what you have the pitcher throw if he doesn't get it over.
Yeah, really. And that is so overrated. One of the most overrated things in baseball is somebody calling a game for a catcher or a pitcher. I don't care how young they are. You can go over before the game what they should be thinking about. There's a strike to throw to second base. Good strong throw, but off the base. And Greg Jeffries with an SB.
Who do you give credit to for that? Because you seldom see a runner steal on a 3-0 count.
It's a great move, Ralph, because nobody's concentrating on the runner 3-0.
Absolutely. Gets a tremendous jump, so no chance for Prince. And the gamble paid off, and it was done easily. So everybody asleep on the 3-0 pitch, and Jeffries gets his first stolen base of the year.
And it might be the easiest pitch to steal a base, 3-0, because the pitcher's concerned about throwing a strike. The catcher's concerned about calling the right pitch. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Ground ball to short. And Bell goes to third. Throws the ball in the dirt. Jeffries with a head-first slide. And it would have been a bad move by Jeffries, but the result was good for the Mets.
Well, you got to say it's a bad play, even though it did work. You can't run with nobody out the third base on a situation like this, and they had him dead to rights, but Bell makes a terrible throw to the third baseman King, and it will be scored as an error. But that puts the pressure on the Pirates when they start moving and pushing that hard, but that is not a good play.
When you're taught fundamentals in pro ball, they tell you when the ball's hit to the left side of the runner, go to third. If it's hit in front of you, stay on second base. Now, it looked to me like it might have been hit on the left side of the runner. I wonder if we could take a look at that again.
Just about right at him, but it was hit so perfectly for the shortstop. Jeffries did make it tough on the shortstop because he was going full bore into third. Miller's on at first base on the fielder's choice, and an error scored on the play.
Now, if the ball's hit in front of the runner,
he's got no chance.
Well, you know, it's funny, Ralph. He was on the other side of the ball. Of course, he was running. But anyways, runners on first and third, and the batter now, Hojo. You know, this looks like a great spot for Howard Johnson to hit in. He has real good speed on the bases. Now, you know Miller's a threat to steal second base. Howard Johnson hit his home run opening day here at Shea.
Second year in a row he's had a home run opening day.
1-0 pitch is popped up. Shallow left field. The shortstop calling for it. Bonds makes the catch. Near collision out there. One down. Well, now Neil Heaton, as you look at the runner, Keith Miller on first base and Greg Jeffries over on third. The batter, Darryl Strawberry. So Heaton will face Strawberry.
This is an amazing record that Neil Heaton has against left-hand batters. He's limited left-hand batters to a 132 batting average, the lowest in the major leagues over the past 15 years. Now, this is his first left-hander in this lineup, The only other left-hand batter the Mets have in the lineup, Sid Fernandez.
And Heaton is now fooling around with that split finger pitch, throwing it a lot. But there's a fastball for a strike.
You know, Neil Heaton was originally drafted by the Mets and didn't sign.
First round back in 1979. How do you turn down the Mets when you're born in Jamaica, New York?
I don't know that. Very surprising.
He was a Yankee fan, and he has expressed a wish to someday pitch for the Yankees. Fastball up high, 1-1. He makes his home now in East Patchogue, New York. Jeffries on third, Miller on first. One man down. We're in the bottom of the first. No score. Breaking ball gets the inside part of the plate. 1-2.
Listen to this stat. Last year, for 1 month, he faced 54 consecutive left-hand batters. That's not counting the right-handers that were in there. 54 and retired every one of them without a base hit. So for 1 month, the left-hand batter didn't get a hit off of him.
Wonder if the left-handers know about that. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike three. 2 down.
This is a good breaking ball, and you can see why those stats are so strong in his favor. Left-hand pitcher against a left-hand batter. That's a good curveball. So the Mets leave a runner at third. Both Johnson and Strawberry with a chance to drive in the runner from third with an out, and they don't take advantage of it.
2 men down, and the batter Kevin McReynolds. First pitch is inside to McReynolds, 1-0. By the way, Neil Heaton pitched in the major leagues for the Cleveland Indians, Minnesota, Montreal, and now Pittsburgh. So it's been an odyssey. 1-0 pitch and a break for the Mets. Here comes Jeffries. Miller goes to second base. A wild pitch, and the Mets take the lead 1-0. So Heaton, after getting Howard Johnson and Darryl Strawberry, throws a wild pitch.
Well, this is the breaks of the game, and when you go to it, it's a split finger fastball, and it's in the dirt.
That's his new pitch.
Jeffries, by going over to third and that ground ball at the shortstop, is able to come in and score. So the error set it up. The error, throwing error by the shortstop, Bell.
And the 2-0 pitch to McReynolds, pulled down the left field line, foul. Barry Bonds flipping the ball into the seats. At one time, that was a fine in baseball when a player picked up the ball and threw it into the stands.
That was the days of Branch Rickey. Take it out of your paycheck. You know, the Pirates started wearing Pittsburgh across the front of their uniform in 1952, and that was the year Branch Rickey was the general manager. His first year, Pirates lost 112 games that year.
You know, I get a feeling if Branch Rickey knew that you would turn out to be a broadcaster for 30 years, he would have treated you a whole lot better.
I didn't know I could get back at him.
That's right.
The voice is mightier than the sword. Forget the pen.
Here's the 3-1 pitch to McReynolds. I'll tell you, Heaton throwing that split finger fastball in the dirt. So he walks McReynolds, and now he'll pitch to Mike Marshall. I'll tell you, this is not an easy lineup for a left-handed pitcher.
First baseman number 6, Mike Marshall.
And Heaton fooling around with that new pitch. I'm surprised that he's throwing it as frequently right now here in the first inning.
He closed out the year with a good record. He won his last 5 decisions as a starting pitcher for the Pirates, and evidently he's in love with that split finger. It helped him well last year.
Well, he'll face Mike Marshall right now. Marshall last year hit 11 home runs, drove in 42. Runners in first and second, 2 men out. We're in the bottom of the first. There goes Miller. Whoa, aggressive base running. You got to be sure you can make it.
With 2 men out, you better make it, but he didn't have to worry about it when that ball was not handled by Prince.
I'll tell you one thing, he had big enough lead to slide into the dugout and be safe.
Reynolds didn't take advantage of Miller's aggression, and he stayed at first. So that play isn't that big a play if the runner at first doesn't get down to second.
Well, a wild pitch right now, Ralph. Could score another run. Here's the 1-0 pitch. And Marshall hits a shot to King, who goes to second for the force, and that'll do it for the Mets. The second inning here at Shea Stadium. Sid Fernandez taking his warm-up tosses on a cool afternoon, and we have a Briar scoop. Sid held opponents to a 164 average on first trip through the lineup in 1989, the lowest in the majors. So that's our Briar scoop. Should have a double scoop. Did you ever order ice cream and only have one scoop?
Yeah, certainly.
Not me.
But my favorite ice cream story is the Jackie Brandt ice cream story. Played for the Baltimore Orioles. Remember him? Flaky outfielder.
Yeah, sure.
One of our all-time flakes. They were in spring training. So he's talking to one of his teammates. He says, they got something new. They got a store with 31 flavors of ice cream. Let's go there after the game. So the guy says, okay. And they went there after the game. Guess what he ordered? Vanilla. He had to go 30 miles to the ice cream store.
They say he was a character. And Bobby Bonilla, the batter, pulls the ball down the left field line. Should be extra bases for the Pirate right fielder. So Bonilla cruises into second base with a double.
Well, Bonilla right here gets around on one and hits the first ball on the ground against Sid Fernandez, and it turns into a double. Bonilla came to the plate with 4 hits and 10 at bats, one of them that monstrous home run. And that one capped out there, not gloved, but capped by one of the fans.
Well, Bonilla on second base with a double. The batter now, a guy who the Pirates are going to rely on heavily. Jeff King, their third baseman. He hammered the ball in spring training. Outside, ball 1. King last year batted only .195, 5 home runs and 19 RBIs. But the Pirates said he hit the ball hard last year. He hit into a lot of bad luck.
21 of his 42 hits were extra base hits, so half of his hits were for extra bases. Got his first hit and first home run against the Mets.
Outside, 2-0. His biggest hit of his career a couple years ago was when he married Miss Arkansas.
#1 selection by the Pittsburgh Pirates in 1986 in the nation. So he
Not
got
Miss
a bundle.
Arkansas.
No, he was.
Oh, okay, yeah.
She wasn't #1.
She came along though.
He got a ton to sign.
Signed as a third baseman. 2-0 pitch, and he takes a strike, 2-1. But he was unable to play third base because of Bobby Bonilla. Ironically, Bobby Bonilla was moved from third base after committing 30+ errors last year.
67 over the last 2 years.
And was the starting third baseman on the National League All-Star team at third base. You think they picked the All-Star team on defense?
Last 2 years he was on the All-Star squad, and he had 35 and 32 errors.
2-1 pitch, and the breaking ball misses down low. 3-1. Milt May felt that King was on the plate too close for a while and moved him a little bit off the plate because he was having trouble with the ball from the middle of the plate in. He has since started hammering that pitch. 3-1 pitch. Up high, ball 4. So the Pirates here in the second inning have runners on first and second with nobody out. They trail the Mets 1-0.
Andy Van Slyke.
And the next batter, number 18, Andy Van Slyke. Hit 2 home runs opening day.
Became the 4th Pirate to do that. Dale Long was one of them. Remember him.
From North Adams, Massachusetts.
Willie Stargell another. Richie Hebner another, and also Andy Van Slyke.
Well, he'll face Sid Fernandez right now. Van Slyke usually bats 4th. Today he's batting 6th. Takes the fastball inside, ball 1. Van Slyke historically has struggled against left-handers, although last year, his injury-prone season, he fared better against left-handers than ever before.
That was switch, though, because he's really had trouble with left-hand batters. He hit only 1 home run off a left-hand pitcher last year. He had a total of 9. That was off Bob Ojeda.
Fouled back, 1-1. Ralph, I've got to believe if the Pirates play good baseball and Van Slyke is red hot, they'll see more left-handed pitchers because of Van Slyke to neutralize his bat. So therefore, a lot of the burden will fall on not only Bobby Bonilla, but the new third baseman who's on first base right now, Jeff King.
Well, the Mets purposely had 2 left-handers go against the Pirates in this series because of that reason.
Saw King on first, Bonilla on second. Here's the 1-1 pitch, popped up. Van Slyke not happy either.
The old infield fly roll, first time this year.
Greg Jeffries makes the grab. 1 down.
Those are the ones you said, let me have it, right?
That's right.
Batter's automatically out.
You can't go wrong.
The catcher,
Any other
number
time,
14.
you take it.
Tom Prince.
This guy's mad. He knows what the opposition's going to do to the Pirates. They're going to throw left-handers to neutralize his bat. Well, 1 man down, runner still on first and second. And Sid Fernandez will now pitch to the catcher, Tom Prince. Prince takes the curveball for a strike. Prince is really the 3rd string catcher on the Pirate ball club, probably because of last season's stats. 135. Only had 5 RBIs. Don Slott was picked up by the Pirates from the Yankees, but he's injured. Of course, Mike LaValliere, left-handed hitting catcher, would not play against Sid Fernandez. Outside with the fastball, 1-1. It's like Sid struggling with his control right now.
Sid has not struck out a batter so far in this game.
You could categorize Sid as a bit deliberate.
Concessionaire's delight.
Slow. 1-1 pitch. Now that's a jam shot right there. Elster makes the play, flips the second, but Bonilla gets back. That's a major league jam shot.
Oh, he really got into his kitchen. Shattered the bat right off his hands. That ball wasn't hit high enough to be called an infield fly.
Well, 2 men down. These players deep down want to get on him, but they know he'll pick up that bat and hit him with it if they say anything.
What he should say is, well, the ball's not carrying well today.
They will get on him. If they win this ball game on that bus trip to the airport, they will be all over Tom Prince as Jose Lean steps in and takes up high, 1-0. Lean stats from last year: 232, 2 home runs, 28 RBIs. I was told that's one of the reasons they picked up Wally Backman. They want Wally Backman. They can use him as a 3rd baseman, shortstop, or a 2nd baseman, but they were concerned about this guy from last year. And the 1-0 pitch. You know what they were concerned about most, Ralph, concerning Jose Lean as you look at Wally Backman?
Defense.
Well, his attitude, not his ability on the field, but his attitude. They felt that he was a different guy from the year before. So they're saying now, who is the real Jose Lean? But they like his attitude this year.
Well, he's hitting .625. That's why they like
That'll
it.
do it.
It's amazing how those attitudes change when you're hitting well.
Yeah, it's amazing. Up high, 3-0. Sid trying to find his rhythm.
Now, he doesn't want to let Lean beat him right here, even though Neil Heaton is a good hitting pitcher. He is a pitcher as a hitter, not a regular.
And a 3-0 pitch. Down low, ball 4. Sid was not trying to walk him. The bases are loaded with Pirates now.
The pitcher, number 26.
And the batter, as Ralph mentioned, will be Neil Heaton.
As Bob Prince and Rosie Rosewell used to say, the bases are loaded, FOB, full of bucks.
And Neil Heaton steps in. Two men out, second inning, and Heaton takes a strike. You recall the other day, the guy who hurt Doc Gooden was Doug Drabeck.
Sid has made 21 pitches so far this inning.
This is a tough game on a catcher, although it's cool.
It's cold.
It's cold.
50 degrees at game time.
The bending up and down is taxing. Fouled out of play. 0-2. Still 50 degrees. And Barry Lyons is loving it. He's saying, come on, Sid, get the ball over. He's telling Sid that. Under his breath, he's saying, stop lollipopping the ball, get it over. Oh, 2 on Neil Heaton. 2 outs, bases loaded with Pirates. Fouled off. So we'll do it again. Did you see Barry Lyons prior to their last pitch with his glove? He was motioning the glove upward. He wanted the fastball up. He's telling Sid to get the ball up again. Has to be a fastball. You don't want to tell your pitcher to throw the curveball up.
That's a sure tip off if you're a hitter right there.
The 0-2 pitch, and Sid throws a fastball down. 1-2.
Sid called his catcher out and then turned his back on him and walked away.
He's saying, don't be telling me where to throw the ball. And we'll take a look at the runners. Pania on third, King on second, Leaned on first. 1-2 on the batter. And Barry Lyons flashing the signs. He gets the fastball up. It's fouled back. So once again, we'll do it again.
Heaton's really hanging in there tough on him. He's a good hitter as a pitcher.
Take a look at Barry Lyons and we'll see what he's looking at. When you're catching, a lot of times while you're flashing the signs, you'll be looking at the hitter to see if he's moving around in the batter's box. Barry moved back. There's the curveball. Nice play by Barry Lyons. 2-2.
Well, right here, if you're a hitter, you got to be looking fastball all the way, especially Heaton, because you don't want to go to 3-2 and have the runners in motion on a 3-2 pitch with the bases loaded.
I think the reason Sid Fernandez threw that curveball is because Heaton had a good rip at that last fastball.
It was a good pitch selection. Nothing wrong with that.
2-2 pitch. Whoa! 3-2.
Now the runners will be running, so a chance to score a runner from first base as Sid Fernandez struggles here in the second.
And a 3-2 pitch. Ball 4.
Well, a leadoff double followed by 3 walks, and the Pirates tied up at 1. Pitch was close, but it was low. So Sid with a lot of pitches in this inning. That's 30 for him.
Well, Davey Johnson has said he doesn't want his pitchers throwing much more than 80 pitches. In fact, Frank Viola threw 87 pitches yesterday. And Barry Bonds, the batter. There's a shot in the right field. Base hit. 2 runs will score. Strawberry up to throw to the plate. Not in time. And the Pirates now have a 3-1 lead.
Shortstop, Jay Bell.
Well, Frankie Frisch had all those bases on balls, and that set it up for 3 runs for the Pirates. The throw by Strawberry bounces by the cutoff man, but Heaton, who was on at second, the base runner there, stayed at second base, and Bonds gets 2 RBIs. Pirates lead 3-1.
And a breaking ball misses down low to Jay Bell. Runners in first and second, 2 men down. 3-1 Pittsburgh. We're in the top of the 2nd inning. We talked about the injuries to the Pirates last year. Jim Leyland used 122 different lineups in 1989. Up high, 2-0.
Sid Fernandez last year tied for first in winning percentage with Scott Garrels. .737 winning percentage with a record of 14-5. He's tough to figure. Can be unhittable.
That's why he's a top step pitcher. Manager's always on a top step. There's a strike. 2-1. You respect his ability, but when he's good, he's real good. But when he's off, he's real bad with his control. And remember a few years ago, Davey used to go out and take Sid out of some games when he was pitching well because of the base on balls.
And a sudden collapse. He'd be going on like he's going to pitch a fantastic game, then all of a sudden the wheels come up.
Fouled out of play. 2-2. Most teams have that one guy who is a top step pitcher, where you're always ready to go out and take him out of the game. Two and 2 on Jay Bell. 2 men down. Three and 2.
There's no action in the bullpen.
Full count. Runners will be going. 2 men down. It's fouled off again. Bell chasing the ball out of the strike zone. It's tough to do. Foul a ball off from Sid Fernandez when it's out of the strike zone.
They usually miss it.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Pirates with 3 runs on only 2 hits. Sid has walked 3 batters. And he would have walked his 4th, but Jay Bell helps out chasing that high fastball. That'll do it for the Pirates here in the 2nd inning. They pick up 3 runs. We played 1.5. Leads off. Bullet in a left field base hit. Well, he looks good with that bat in his hand, Ralph.
Well, he had his opening day home run.
The shortstop, Kevin Elster.
And now he picks up a base hit right here, his 2nd in 8 at-bats for this season, and a leadoff base hit in the bottom half of the 2nd. Both Kevin Elster and Mike Marshall, the only Mets not to have a base hit in the starting lineup.
Well, Barry Lyons on first base, and the batter now, Kevin Elster. Kevin takes down low, ball 1. Kevin's dressed like it's a little bit cool out there. That's what happens to you guys from Southern California.
Yeah, he's a surfer.
Must be. He's quite a golfer, right?
I've never seen him play. They say he can hit it out of sight.
Fouled out of play, 1-1. Told me he was the best tennis player in his high school. And they play pretty good tennis
They
out
do
there
out
in
in
California.
California.
Kevin does not lack for confidence.
Also for talent. He is
he's
a
good.
talented guy.
Yes, he is. He'd be a better hitter if he wasn't an 8th hitter.
That's a tough position.
He can play that shortstop, though. He's a pleasure to watch. 1-1 pitch. Up high. Well, Ralph, you mentioned that 8th slot. It is a tough place to be in the lineup. It's very disappointing when you come to the ballpark and see yourself batting 8th, because the pitcher's batting 9th, and you're not going to get good pitches to hit. As you mentioned earlier, you go after the pitcher, no matter how good a hitting pitcher he is. Swung on and fouled off, 2-2. But you put Kevin Elster in front of Howard Johnson in the 2nd slot.
See a lot more fastballs, wouldn't
He can hit that ball from that waist up with authority.
That's another one of the advantages for players playing with a DH. You don't have that pitcher hitting in the batting order, so it's another story. Get more good pitches to hit if you're hitting 8th in the batting order.
I mentioned how disappointing it is batting 8th as Kevin takes down low, 3-2. I'll tell you what, when you're in the American League, you feel like 2 cents when you walk in the clubhouse and see your name in the 9th slot.
How about Roberto Kelly last year?
Yeah.
Hitting 9th and he was hitting 300.
He must have had a lot of confidence to keep that average up. 3-2 pitch. There's a drive down the left field line, foul. That's a nice. He does everything in with such a fluid motion, doesn't he?
Good actions. He's out in front of this fastball. He's looking fastball. This is one of the few times where you wouldn't be pitched tough in a situation where you're batting 8th. Pirates leading 3-1. They don't want to walk him in this spot with the pitcher coming up. And they did give him a good pitch to hit. And he'll get another. But in other circumstances, you wouldn't get a good pitch to hit here.
Full count. And the ball gets in on him a little bit. The big swing, the fly ball left center field. And Van Slyke makes the catch. 1 down.
National League.
Well, 1 man down, and Sid Fernandez, a good hitting pitcher at the plate. I think in a situation like this, sometimes the pitcher going through a lineup like the Mets feels a little bit relieved when they get to the 9th slot because it is a pitcher, and sometimes they take him for granted. Sid bunts the ball, but foul.
Sid's a good athlete, and
You see Jeff King creeping in. Sid squares the bunt. Will he pull the bat back?
he sure got out there in a hurry early. That's usually the sign that you're going to pull it back and swing away.
Plus, they're not expecting Barry Lyons to run. Why don't you put him in motion? The 0-1 pitch, he squares the bunt, he bunts foul. 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes and a big Hawaiian. By the way, Sid Fernandez is putting on a big golf tournament. As you look at Davey Johnson, Sid's going to put on a golf tournament benefiting the American Cancer Society during the next off season. You saw Buddy Harrelson flashing signs. Will Sid try to bunt again? Ralph mentioned how tough Heaton has been on left-handers. The 0-2 pitch, he squares the bunt, and he bunts the ball in fair territory. They go to second for the force. They might get a double dip. No. I'll tell you what, Jay Bell took that for granted because he had a shot at Sid at first base. But he had no intention of throwing the ball to first.
He was thinking more of the force play at second. The throw wasn't the best of throws. We'll look at it again. Ball's bunted a little bit too hard. Neil Heaton gets to it, makes the throw high. He's thinking more about self-preservation than he is about the double play. You can't really blame him there.
When a catcher's on first base, you intimidate those middle infielders. They know how tough you really are.
That's right.
Greg Jeffries, the batter. He had an infield hit his first time up, and he takes up high, ball 1. Two men down here, second inning, 3-1, Pirates on top of the Mets. Inside. 2-0. Home run in yesterday's game. And Jeffries led all National League rookies in doubles, home runs, and RBIs, and total bases. Up high, 3-0.
Not a bad year for a fellow that they said really had an off year, but they predicted that he'd be the rookie of the year. He finished third in the balloting, but with those stats, he might have really should have deserved second.
Well, I think he might have been a lot higher if he played in smaller market, but in New York, everybody knew he struggled up to June as he takes ball 4. But after June, this guy hit about 298.
Center fielder, Miller.
Of course, he was involved in a wrestling match with Roger McDowell. Some bad blood there. And Ray Miller, the pitching coach with the Pirates, heading out to talk to Neil Heaton and Tom Prince. Might be going out to talk about Keith Miller with 2 men down.
Well, you're going to have a tough time scoring Sid Fernandez from second on his single. Miller isn't that type of a power hitter where the outfielders have to play deep.
Ray Miller was the pitching coach with the Orioles. Then he moved over to the Minnesota Twins as the manager. They didn't play that well. A lot of the blame was placed on the pitching staff. Better. 2 men down here in the second inning. 3-1 Pittsburgh.
I don't understand that move right there. You got to drive the run in here. You can't be bunting in this spot with 2 men out. And why you decoy to take, I don't know that either. So that's one we'll have to ask about.
Well, King was back. Now he moves in.
Yeah, but you're not going to be bunting here.
Okay. 1-0.
If you are, you're not going to be playing for me.
All right. You be tough as a manager. Down low, 2-0. See, I think Keith wanted to bring him in to hit a bullet over left field fence.
That's a good way to look at it.
Mets with runners on first and second. The sun has broken through. Good karma for the Mets. Down low, 3-0. Anytime that sun breaks through when you're hitting, you feel like $1,000,000. Number 20, Howard Johnson on deck. You can just feel those waves here. The old pitch. There's a strike, 3-1. The Yankees were having good karma before, but not so good now. It's all tied up at 4 over in the Bronx, the Yankees and the Indians. There are the runners. Good pitch right there. 3-2.
And a good pitch to take for Miller because you couldn't do much with that pitch. He'll get the same type pitch on the 3-2 count. Might be a better pitch to hit. It's really the science of hitting.
And the 3-2 pitch. There's a shot in the left field, base hit, and they're going to send Sid in. Whoa, will it be close? He's out. Ball was thrown off the mark, but Sid was caught by a lot. And that'll do it for the Mets here in the second inning. They strand 2 runners. They failed to score. We've played 2, and it's 3-1 Pittsburgh. Getting loose, running from second to home. And by the way, Mets fans, when you've got a major thirst, don't just reach for a beer. Head for the mountains and the refreshing smooth taste of Busch beer. Three to one, the Pirates on top of the Mets. Top of the 3rd inning. Curveball misses down and in. 1-0. Reedus, as we mentioned, in the lineup because of Sid Fernandez. How about that? Batted over 300 when leading off an inning last season. Pops it up. Is it playable? Mike Marshall over by the stands makes the grab. 1 down. Now let me ask you a question, Mr. Kiner. Gary Reedus, as you saw the graphic, does a nice job swinging the bat. But the National League hitters last year batted less than 200 against Sid Fernandez. If that's going to hold true this year, do you take a Sid Bream out of your lineup who's supposed to be an outstanding defensive first baseman because he's a left-handed hitter, and put a guy who's an outfielder at first base and might cost you the game?
Well, Sid Bream, if he's healthy, and we don't know that, he missed almost the whole year last year with a bad knee and a knee operation, is a better ball player on a daily basis against left and right-hand hitting pitches than Gary Ritas.
And the batter, Bobby Bonilla, takes that big swing and fouls the ball back. Oh and 1 on Bobby Bonilla. One ball and one strike. Steve Garland, trainer with the Mets, covering his ears with big Band-Aids. Breaking ball just misses. 2 and 1.
Bonilla should like to play ball here at Shea. He's got a .308 lifetime batting average while playing at Shea Stadium against the Mets. Overall, he's hitting .274 against the Mets. That includes Three Rivers Stadium and Shea.
2 balls and 1 strike. Ball fouled out of play. 2 and 2. While we have a moment, Bobby Bonilla, born and brought up in the New York area. We want to wish speedy recovery for Scott from Port Washington, a big Met fan. So get well soon, Scott. And you're looking at Bob Murphy and Gary Cohn, who made a great play on that foul ball. They're doing a game on WFAN radio. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Oh boy, that's a big league curveball right there, and Bobby knew it. 2 down.
Second strikeout for Sid Fernandez, who averages close to 9 strikeouts per 9 innings. And he gets him with that good curve. His other strikeout came on a fastball. I'll tell you, Bobby Bonilla has more enjoyment playing baseball than anybody.
And Jeff King, the batter, takes the curveball off the plate, 1-0. And Bobby Bonilla is a great interview. Pleasure to talk to him.
He's a better interview from the left-hand side than he is from the right-hand side. That's not my line, though. That's Al Michaels' line.
Down and in, 2-0.
In case you don't follow baseball closely, he's a switch hitter.
Oh, Al Michaels?
No.
Bobby Bonilla.
I don't know what Al is. I wonder.
Al's a tennis player. Al's a tennis player.
Well, he could play left and right-handed.
Al, of course, has that dish out there in L.A. and watches a lot of baseball throughout this country. 2-0 pitch. There's a strike. 2-1.
Beverly Baker was a tennis player and an outstanding tennis player who played left-handed and right-handed. She had no backhand.
Can't win with no backhand.
She could win. She was ranked up there in the top 5 in the world.
Wow. 2-1 on Jeff King.
How would you like to eliminate your backhand? That'd be pretty good, wouldn't it?
I'll tell you, my game, there's a few things I'd like to eliminate. I'd like to take the net down. 2-2 on Jeff King. By the way, Jeff King hit his first major league home run against the Mets last year.
And off Rick Aguilera. Got his first hit off Rick Aguilera, and then later on his first home run.
And he gets out front, hits a fly ball left field, not long enough. Kevin McReynolds is there and makes the grab for out number 3. So the Buccos go down 1-2-3 here in the third. We've played last season. Howard Johnson, he'll lead it off. Drove in 101 RBIs. He flirted with that plateau. Back in '87, he had 99. He tries to bunt the ball. Well, Mr. Kiner?
Well, I don't criticize that play as much as when we were talking about Keith Miller.
Yeah, but this
with
guy
2 men out. I know he could hit it out of the ballpark, but the Mets are trailing by 2. It's early in the ball game. If he gets on base, he gets something going. I really don't think you can second guess that one too much.
Did you ever try to bunt for a hit?
Certainly.
That must have been an ugly sight.
Oh, I was very good at it. Nobody ever threw me out. Never bunted one fair.
0-1 on Howard Johnson.
But seriously, when you bunt for a base hit in a spot like that, you either want to bunt it perfectly or foul. You don't want to make a bad bunt. And in that case, he made a pretty good bunt at it. It was foul, but you sure don't want to put it out there where they can throw you out easily. It's got to be perfect or foul.
1-1, and there's a fly ball center field. Van Slyke misjudged it, but outruns his mistake. Nice play, Andy Van Slyke. 1 down.
And he did get a slow move back on this ball, but he is outstanding defensively, and he gets to it. It rattles around in that glove a little bit. You better get the yardstick out and measure that glove.
Yeah, the gloves are going to be inspected in May. The guys that have the long gloves, the infielders and first basemen, I believe the gloves can be no longer than 12 inches from top to bottom. Whoa, good heater, good swing. Strike 1.
The umpires have their little ribbon to measure them, but then they said, let's hold off a while. And the answer, you wonder why they say let's hold off, but the answer that was given by the players committee, that they haven't had time to get their other gloves broken in.
Good point, but they shouldn't be using those gloves. Remember last year we were talking about it. Now the catcher's glove 15 inches from top to bottom. There's a ground ball to second base. Jose leaned, flips to Reedus. 2 down. And the catcher's glove can be no bigger than 15 inches from top to bottom and 38 inches in circumference. Now the outfielder's gloves, I'm telling you right now, there's a few outfielders. In fact, Brett Butler has stated his glove is illegal. Brett Butler has a huge glove. Now that glove there, Ralph,
Well, that looks awfully big.
You get a trained eye for cheating. Do you think he's cheating with that glove?
He can't be under the present rules. You can use that glove as big as you want right now.
But the rule book states it's 12 inches from top to bottom.
Right, but they're not going to enforce it until the middle of May because they can't get their other glove broken in. I love that.
I know it. I mean, it's been in the rule book for a long, long time. 2-0 now on McReynolds. Come on, Ralph, you know, are those gloves legal? I hate to put you in a hot seat like this.
I'm not going to make any comment. I don't have a ruler.
Plus, I'm ruining your reputation. A keen eye for cheating. 3-0 on Kevin McReynolds.
Rusty's up here and he's writing cop out.
You got to take a stand on these things. Three balls and 1 strike. Kevin. It's a ball off the end of the bat. Leaned, calling for it. Shallow right field, makes the grab for out number 3's preview. Enjoy the game, and remember, Sports Channel has exclusive Mets games all season long. And right here on Sports Channel, you can catch La Grande Orange. We're going to Montreal, Mr. Staub.
Yes, we are, Fran. After this game, a little trip up there will be opening day in the Big O. She will not be there.
You never know.
Sid Fernandez facing Andy Van Slyke. Everybody's got this idea that it's a cold day. They're going to lay a bunt down. Howard Johnson doesn't play real deep at third base. Van Slyke maybe just trying to take a pitch, draw the infield in a little bit. Line drive, but foul. Van Slyke broke his bat. Might be the second one he broke today, because after he missed the pitch last time up and didn't drive those runs in, he was pounding that bat on the floor.
Did you ever break your bat in disgust?
Yes.
No. Well, you know, when I first broke into minor leagues, I broke a bat every time I struck out. Do you know I went through a dozen bats in 2 weeks? Then I would borrow my teammates' bats, and when I'd strike out, the guy would be yelling at them, "No, don't do it!"
If we get some time, I'll tell you a good one. My first year that I was traded from Montreal to New York in a situation like that. We get a little break in the action here. I'll get to it. Right now, it's no balls, 2 strikes to Van Slyke. Ground ball, foul again. In that particular play, or that day, I hit about 4 line drives. I haven't got a hit yet. And after the 4th line drive for an out, I took the bat very quietly into the runway and snapped it off on one of the pipes. Threw it in the underneath area behind the stands. The game was over. Seaver had taped it up and hung it in my locker. Fouled off again by Van Slyke. Still 0-2.
How can you possibly break a bat where you hit 4 line drives?
Well, here's the top. Well, first off, the bat wasn't doing too good a job that night. Check swing. Strike 2.
I'm sure, Mr. Staub, with your keen eye, you have done that in the past.
Well, anybody that does something consistently and blatantly, if observed, can be found out. A lot of times someone would like to give a sign to the shortstop, to the second baseman, to relay to the catcher. But in these circumstances, they're taking that away from the infielders. A couple of young infielders, they're going directly to the coach on the bench. Ball and 2 strikes. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Lions leading off at first. Neil Heaton steps off, trying to catch his breath after throwing 70 pitches to date in this ball game. We're in the bottom of the 4th. He and Sid Fernandez have not been sharp. Lots of pitches thrown by both guys. Ground ball, a 3rd. King up with it. The 2nd, 1. No chance of getting Elster at first. That was not a hard hit ball. Barry Lyons went in fairly aggressively himself. Jose Lean was not thinking at all of the double play there.
Well, they tell the second baseman he has to know his base runners. He knew Kevin Elster could get down to first base rapidly. He also knew that Barry Lyons was heading down to second base and a slow hit ground ball. He's going to get 1.
Sid Fernandez, as you see, grounded into a force play. Had a couple of unsuccessful attempts at a bunt. Then when he did lay it down, they got the lead runner. Line drive through the box, base hit. Elster's going to hole at second, and Sidney's on first with a single.
Can you figure out this game? Heaton is as tough as anybody in baseball on left-handers. Sid Fernandez goes up and hits a bullet up the middle. Left-handed hitting pitcher.
He got a fastball. Heaton wanted to get ahead of him. Sid was aggressive.
There's the stat, 132. Left-handers batted against Heaton last year.
Was part of the reason why the Pirates, who really need some depth in their pitching. Here comes Ray Miller to talk to Heaton now. Heaton filed for free agency but was re-signed back to the Big Apple with the Cleveland Indians. That should have been interesting for him. Jeffries takes a ball. Jeffries has singled in the 1st, walked in the 2nd, has scored a run. Jammed a little bit on that pitch. Fly ball, left field. Bonds has a beat on it. And the Mets are going to strand a couple of runners after 4 full innings. The Pirates with a 3-1 lead. Try to work his way on first base. As Fran said earlier in the game, he swings the bat well for a pitcher.
Yeah, you get that right.
Attempted bunt, foul ball.
You know, it's funny when you're playing the game, you hear the pitchers popping off. You know, some of these guys can swing the bat rather well. When I was in the minor leagues, I played with a guy who swung the bat very well, and then all of a sudden he popped off enough. We had the bases loaded one day in a tight game. They put him up there to hit. The opposing pitcher threw 3 hooks. That was it. It's different when you have to hit.
Who was the manager?
The manager, you know, that's an interesting question. It might have been Phil Cavaretta.
Did he want to get him that bad that he ran him up there with the bases loaded?
Even he thought this guy was a pretty good hitter. I might be wrong on Phil Cavaretta, but I played for a number of guys in the minor leagues.
Pass ball up and in, 1-1.
But there's a big difference between having to hit and going up there leisurely.
Breaking ball, good one by Sid. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's also a difference with certain hitters, guys who have grown up being RBI producers. It's been very difficult, even though it's been tried, usually unsuccessfully, to move a guy who has normally been a 1-2 slot in the batting order into the 3-4-5 slot, which is more RBI slot. Ground ball to short. Elster, nice and easy. Long throw, gets Heaton at first.
There's no doubt that the man who hits in the middle of the lineup, your number 3, number 4, number 5 guy, the guy who drives in the runs, is the most important hitter on the
Left
team.
fielder, Barry
It's
Bonds.
important to get on base, but it's a different mindset to drive in runs. There's a gentleman right there reading the New York Post.
Well, there'll be no goose eggs tossed at the Pirates. Pirates leading 3-1. But if they can throw some more goose eggs up there the rest of this game, the Mets can have a chance to come back and win this one. Trailing by 2, top of the 5th. Curveball just inside.
You mentioned the topic of moving a guy around in the lineup. The Pirates feel that Barry Bonds is a better number 1 hitter than he is a 3 or 4th hitter. But the glamour spots are number 3 and 4.
No doubt about it. Swing and a miss. Big swing. 1-1.
What did Ralph bat, about 7th or 8th?
I think he hit always 4th.
You're kidding.
Always 4th, or
Because of those
usually 4th.
because of the home runs?
Absolutely.
See, I see Ralph down in the lineup if I manage. I move him down to the 8th slot.
That's why you're in the booth.
And Ralph could hear us right. I used to throw out things in there.
Another big curveball fouled off by Barry Bonds. And fans, New York Met baseball is being brought to you by Manufacturers Hanover, where your money has power. And Barry Bonds would like to lay a little power on him. One home run in his last 120 at bats. Was not a strong finish last year for him. Called strike 3.
Paul Runge called it, did not ask for help.
Got a good look at it.
That's unusual, though, this day and age. Umpires usually ask for help, but let's take a look. Does he need help? You be the umpire.
Runge got a good look at it. He didn't call it too quick. Looked at it. He's a good umpire. He's a consistent umpire. That's what you want out of an umpire. You have a consistency with the strike zone. You know, anticipation is probably an umpire's worst enemy. When he anticipates a pitch to be in a certain place or anticipates someone to be out on a call, that's how an umpire gets into trouble. See the play, then call it. One ball, no strikes. Jay Bell pop up to the shortstop and a strikeout. Two 2-0. This has not been a rapid pace ball game. Sid's ready. That's 3-0. The more I watch, I know you're the catcher, Fran, and you all have talked many times about Barry Lyons, but the more I watch him, the more impressed I am with his non-movement behind the plate.
That's very important for
He's
catchers.
just settled right in there.
He's so quiet. Look at the glove. Soft hands. Biggest thing for catcher, you have to have soft hands. You've got to catch the ball because you can steal pitches. The other thing, he never locks his elbows.
Yep.
That's the big thing in catching ball. You lock your elbows, you're going to have hard hands. But see, you keep the arms on the outside part of the legs. You can't get them inside, or you're going to have hard hands. Look how quiet he is.
High fly ball. Strawberry looks like, it looks like,
Whoa.
man, almost a collision. Not working together there. Miller does snag it to end this top of the 5th inning. They're smiling, but it was close. Still 3-1, Pirates over the Mets.
P.O. Box 234,
The long ground ball, and he beats it out for a base hit. Keith Miller on with an infield single.
See, you read about the big game, and the Mets start a rally. We'll finish it later. And here's the hit. As Rusty said, the ball was hit in the hole, backhanded by Jade Bell. And Bell makes the long throw and bounces the ball by the first baseman, Gary Redus. And here's Miller on defense going over, and give me that ball, says Darrell, who's 6'6", and takes the ball away from Miller.
That was dangerous. That was close.
Well, he's on first base. Let me complete this promo. I gave you the address. So claim the big game courtesy of Sports Channel and Jeep Eagle.
Ball down to Howard Johnson.
By the way, entries must be postmarked by June 10th. Contest rules available upon request. Must be at least 18 years old to enter.
That should be a fun program.
Yeah, all the ways to Los Angeles to see the Mets play. That'd be great. See the Dodgers and the Mets.
Swing and a miss by Howard Johnson. Howard started off the year with that big home run the first time up. Has not had a hit in his next 9 at bats.
Interesting enough, he hit it off a off-speed pitch.
Yes, he did.
From Doug Drabek.
Miller taking a reasonable lead at first. Ground ball, foul at third. When you have a left-hander on the mound like Heaton, a lot of times you want to be a little more conservative at first base so you don't get picked off. But if you take a different size lead, if you do get the sign to steal and you take a longer lead, you're really telling somebody, okay, that you might be stealing. There's Doug Bear warming in the bullpen.
And catchers will watch guys on first base with their lead. Some guys will tip off when they're going to run. They'll lean. They'll take a longer lead.
Check swing first. Redus to short. Bell cannot make the relay, but they do get the lead runner. Fielder's choice for Howard Johnson.
Right fielder, Darrell Strawberry.
It's going to bring up Darryl Strawberry. Darrell a strikeout and the ground out to the second baseman. Against the left-handed pitchers, when Darrell has done well against them, he's been aggressive. You cannot look for the strike and then swing. You got to have the philosophy that I'm going to hit this pitch, and then if it happens not to be a strike, you try to hold your swing up. You got to get that trigger started.
Since he got out of rehabilitation, he's been very, very laid back.
That's not going to help him at the plate.
No, you got to maintain that aggressiveness.
You got to get that trigger going. Just that little bit of energy started ahead of time gets the bat head out front where you need it. A little toss over to first didn't fool Howard Johnson at all.
But if you talk to Darrell, he's very, very, even he's passive when he's speaking, he's so relaxed.
Well, you can be passive in a lot of areas. Not 60 feet 6 inches from that lanceur. Neil Heaton had the game going a little too quickly. Wanted to throw a couple of times to first base to make sure he slowed down the pace.
I'll tell you, the way left-handers hit against Heaton, I wouldn't mind seeing Johnson put in motion.
Fastball up and in, knocks Darrell off the plate.
You almost have to do something radical to get the ball club going. Jim Leland, the manager of the Pirates.
Well, both Jim Leland and Davey Johnson like to play the game aggressively. Very conservative lead by Howard. Ground ball, fair ball. Going to be tagged at first base by Redus. Gets Strawberry. Howard Johnson moves on to second.
Left fielder.
And with Howard Johnson on second, it'll bring up Kevin McReynolds with 2 down. These are the areas that the Mets have struggled in. They've struggled again this year in just a few limited games they've had. And getting that runner in from third base with less than 2 outs. Twice today they did not get the runner in.
I think it hurts even more when it's, as we said, the RBI men, the guys that are supposed to drive in runs, and They're not driving in guys from second or third base with less than 2 outs.
There's no doubt about that, Fran.
I think it's a psychological thing for a ball club. You can stand it if it's your 8th hitter.
These are the big RBIs. When a guy can come with 2 outs and have a substantial record and drive in a lot of runs, 2 outs and a man on second, you're talking about a real good run producer. High fly ball hit a little bit toward the end of the bat. Bonds is there. McReynolds
1797, and you'll be out there. If you win, you'll go to LA, Hollywood.
Gary Redus leading off for the Pirates. Gary 0 for 2 has popped up twice. Once to the shortstop, once to the first baseman. Sid Fernandez has had 4 good innings and 1 rough inning. He's gotten the Pirates out 1, 2, 3 in the first, third, fourth, and fifth. But in the second, he had some problems with his control. He walked 3 and gave up 3 runs, and that has stood for the Pirates so far. Mets scored a run in the first, trail by 2. Sun creeping out a little bit again. Off-speed pitch by Sid that time. It was not his normal fastball. In fact, I think everyone is I'd like to know how many pitches. Maybe we can find that out. How many pitches Sid has thrown so far in that second inning. He was way up there in pitches thrown. Entering the top of the 6th. Fly ball deep. Very deep and out of the ballpark. Home run, Gary Redus.
Well, his first home run of the year. And as we said earlier, Sid Green usually plays first base. Because of Sid Fernandez, Jim Leland put Gary Redus in the lineup. And a great managerial move.
Right fielder,
Smoke that ball.
O'Neill.
It was a line drive home run. Ball carried a lot. Doug Bear in the bullpen again for the Pirates. This ball's fouled to the right side, out of play. Bobby Bonilla hit a double his first time up and struck out.
Here's a look at that home run. We showed you a graphic before. Gary Redus batting over 300 when leading off an inning. Well, his first home run of the year, leading off the 6th inning here at Shea Stadium.
He got all of it. Line shot on the left field line. This is going to be for extra bases. Rounding first, going in the second. Kevin McReynolds having no chance whatsoever. Trying to stop him from getting a double. Kevin probably comes down that left field line and holds more people to singles or throws people out going into second base from that play than anybody in baseball.
Well, Davey Johnson has to be alarmed because you don't see guys pulling Sid Fernandez with authority.
As I said, he's thrown a lot of pitches. It's a little surprising that he really has gotten to the 6th inning.
Wally Whitehurst will get loose. Just saw Mackey Sasser out there throwing also. Might see a pinch hitter for Barry Lyons. Couldn't. Unless you have a right-handed pitcher.
Jeff King up and on second base. Takes strike 1. Jeff King, after an incredible spring training, he scored a run and walk today. Flew out to left field, but he's 0 for 7 since the season started. Ground ball to short. Elster retreats, long throw, gets King at first. The runner moves to third, so he does move the runner, and with 1 out, the Pirates have a chance to drive in a run with less than 2 outs. Mel Stottlemyre coming to the mound to talk to Pippen. Even if Sid gets Van Slyke, that may be it for him. Infield in all the way. Ground ball to the pitcher. Sid knocks it down. It'll be a tough play for Jeffries. Makes the play at first, but the run scores. 5-1 Pittsburgh.
Well, that was a break, I believe, for the Pirates. Sid knocking the ball down. I think Elster might have gotten to that ball, and there could have been a play at the plate, although Reedus took off at the crack of the bat. Let's see what Elster would have done with this ball. Ball hit right back up the middle. Sid knocks it down. Ball was not scorched. That's why I thought Elster had a shot at cutting that ball off. And Bonilla, breaking on the crack of the bat, scored easily.
A little looper, but right at Elster. That's going to do it for Prince and the Pirates. They score 2 in the top of the 6th and now lead the Mets 5-1. Marshall, big swing, foul straight back.
Doug Bear was one of those pitchers when he first came to the big leagues. He got the fastball up there in the high 90s.
Yeah, and he had an excellent curveball. He was one of the more impressive pitchers I saw on that whole Oakland staff. My first year in the national in the American League when I was with the Tigers. That was 1976. They bring some heat up there. 0-2 on Mike Marshall. Marshall, his first hit of the season, last time up. Way outside. 1-2. Red Sox were off to a good start. Had swept the first 3 games of a series against Detroit. Detroit ahead 11-6 right now. Weak swing on a breaking ball down and away by Marshall. Bear really fooled him on that pitch.
Well, when you get your mind set on a left-hander, all of a sudden you're facing a breaking ball right-hander. This will happen occasionally. His heart was in that one, though.
When you get to the dugout, you try to say, well, he fooled me. What you'd like to do is take the bat and whack yourself in the head. Better keep the helmet on, though. Mackey Sasser at the plate. Ball inside, hitting for Barry Lyons.
Barry leaves the ball game. He was 1 for 2.
Takes a ball outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Mets need base runners, even with 1 out on a 2-0 count. We'll see what happens. Swing, foul off to the left, out of play. What do you think, Fran, with a 4-run deficit? Should your first priority be to make that pitcher throw strikes or be aggressive at the plate?
I'd be aggressive. I want them to be aggressive.
He was again. Ground ball to second. Leaned to Bream. And Sasser's out.
You know, it's funny, Rusty, when we first broke in, I mean, 3-0, forget it. You were taking. And
The shortstop.
if you were behind late in the game, you were taking a strike. But that's all been thrown out. I like this brand of baseball better. You got to let the athlete be an athlete. It's like calling a game. And those coaches and managers should stop calling a game. Let the catcher call a game and the pitcher go ahead and call his own game. Let the athlete be an athlete. Don't get in the way.
Spoken like a true catcher.
I digress for a moment. But I really enjoy thinking this brand of baseball, the aggressive brand of baseball, is much more exciting for the fan. And a guy can hit that first pitch and hit it over the fence. He can get a base hit off the first pitch. But at one time, you were not able to swing at that first pitch when you were behind.
Kevin Elster fouls a pitch straight back. 0-2. With 1 out, it's a debatable move. Leading off an inning. I think if you're 2 balls and no strikes and you're down by 4 runs, you got to put that bat in your pocket until he throws a strike.
Yeah, you'd be a conservative manager. There's no doubt about it.
No, I would be conservative under circumstances. I would be a very aggressive manager.
I've known you now for a few years, and I know how conservative you'd be. You wouldn't let guys run the bases. Stay on first base. I don't want you getting hurt.
Yeah, that's me. You got me covered. You really learned a lot in this last couple of years.
I like that aggressive baseball.
Geez, nice pick that time by Prince. Getting a little chilly out at Shea. Sun has come out a couple of times. It's not there now. Full count now with 2 down.
That's a baseball fan right there.
Looks like he's getting ready to go to a deer stand.
bet he is here every game. As you look at Dave Magadan, he changed his number, now wearing number 10.
Ball 4. You saw where Bear was not happy with himself. Neither is Jim Leyland. 4-run lead. 2 down, and you walk the 8-hole hitter. You bring up a pinch hitter in Dave Magadan.
Number 10, Dave Magadan.
Magadan takes a ball.
Dave really bulked up over the winter months.
Well, I think he was working out a lot, Fran. It's not like it's not good weight for him. I think he's lifted a lot of weights. Okay. What do you think?
I think he wants to impress Davey and hit the ball with power to get in the lineup every day. He knows that Mike Marshall hits the ball with power.
He hits that ball with power right on the line. It's going to be for extra bases. Elster rounding third, being held up by Harrelson. So a stand-up double for Dave Magadan. And the Mets are threatening with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. At the plate, takes ball 1. The 1 run the Mets have scored today, they scored it on a wild pitch. And Jeffries was the guy that scored it. It was a good call by Buddy Harrelson. Down 4 runs, you got to know that run's going to score.
Oh, yeah.
Just on the outside corner. A ball and a strike. Fans didn't like that call, but Doug Bear did. Long fly ball. It's out of the ballpark. Is it fair? Foul.
Oh, boy. Was that ball smoked?
He crushed that one. Just got a little too much of the head out there.
Good swing right here. Gets the head of the bat out there and hits the ball so hard it curves foul.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 down, 2 on. Off-speed pitch, a little lofted pop-up. King trying for it. It's close. Oh, he runs into the tarp, and the fans make the play.
Jay Bell tried to get the third base umpire, Jerry Davis, to call fan interference.
The only thing that interfered there was the tarpaulin.
If a fan reaches out and the umpire feels the infielder can catch the ball, he can call him out, but not in that case.
Ooh, and Jeffries takes a close one. 2-2. Jim Leyland appearing to be calm, but his stomach is churning right now. Oh, Jeffries wisely slaps that pitch foul. Can't take another one that close.
Don't give that home plate umpire a chance.
You got to swing the bat in this circumstance. They got runners on the bases. Your club is trailing. Scott Ruskin.
He was a surprise of the Pirates in spring training.
Might be another wild pitch. Here comes Elster. The throw. He does not get it off. He throws it hits Bear. Bear gets a lucky hop and catches it.
Ball hit his foot.
What a weird play. Catcher didn't get the full grasp. Then when he did throw it, Elster had crossed the plate. He's lucky that ball didn't go right through and into the dugout.
Well, here it is again. Tom Prince getting down and the ball running up his body and over to the right. Now look at Elster coming in. Prince throws the ball. Bear takes his eye off the ball. No, he kicked it. He kept his eye on it and kicked it. He didn't want to bend over.
Whatever it was, I don't think he wanted to get into that fire with that guy sliding in the home plate. But both runs now for the Metropolitans have scored on wild pitches. Full count to Jeffries. Maggott in that third.
I've never seen anybody with another run potentially scoring just kick the ball. Kicked it up in the air and caught it. It's a wild game.
And another ball in the dirt. Prince keeps it in front of him. Jeffries walks on the call. And Mark Carrion at the plate. Carrion, 4 pinch hit home runs last season. That led the majors and tied a record set by Danny Heap. Another almost wild pitch. LaValliere, good block. Wild pitch has been the Mets' most effective weapon so far today.
Yes. 2 runs scored.
Stay with it.
Pitches. Mark Carrion, 26 years old. Tough to be 26, be able to hit the way Carrion can hit, and know you're only going to be used as a pinch hitter.
No one said it's fair in the big leagues. It's a pretty good group of people playing in front of him. Takes the ball up, 2-0.
Well, we talked about, as you look at Howard Johnson, talked about Doc Edwards and Mike LaValliere going out to talk to the young pitcher now. And Mark Carrion changed his number to 45 in honor of his dad who passed away. And he was a catcher with the Cleveland Indians when Doc Edwards was a catcher there.
Is that right?
Yeah, Emilio Carrion.
Well, this is the driver's seat for Mark Carrion. He's got a young pitcher. There's nobody warming in the bullpen. You know this guy wants to throw a strike. You got to sit dead red fastball and try not to do too much with it. Make sure you don't miss it. Drive that ball in the gaps. You try that normally, you do all right. That ball is not even close.
You talked about Jim Leland's stomach turning. How about this young left-hander?
Well, there's no doubt Scott Ruskin has not been in this situation too often, especially in the big leagues, maybe through his high school and minor league career. There's a strike. Carrion taking all the way, but he won't be taking this one. Same situation, except a little better. 3-1. Swing at a bad pitch. A little too aggressive that time. Wanted it so much he wasn't patient.
Well, here's a nasty sinker right here. Bottom just fell out of this thing. Wow.
Jeffries will be moving on the pitch. There he goes. Fouled straight back. Remains a full count. Exciting times for young Scott Ruskin. Infield extremely deep, except at first where Breen is trying to keep Jeffries honest. Ground ball to second baseman Jose Lean. Up with it, over to first, and he gets Carrion. So the Mets do score on a wild pitch, but they strand a couple again. After 6 full innings, it's the Pirates 5 and the Mets 2.
And 2 runs on 2 hits in the 6th. And the first pitch, a breaking ball, a called strike. Each team has won a game in this 3-game series. And the curveball foul back out of play, strike 2.
You people keeping scorecards. LaValliere is hitting in the 9 slot. The pitcher is in the 7 slot. Green will be hitting 3rd.
2 strikes the count to Lean, and a ground ball to the shortstop. Good play as Elster moves in front of it to take the hop. And the throw to first base retires Lean, who has grounded out twice to Elster. He's trying the wrong man.
You got that right. Kevin Elster making a tough play look easy.
That'll bring up Mike LaValliere batting for the first time. LaValliere 0 for 3 so far this year. .316 batting average last year, and he fouls off a fastball.
And this is one of those situations where Jim Leyland is not worried so much about him facing a left-handed pitcher. They want him behind that plate because of his defensive ability.
Pirates leading by 3, so the defense important at this point in the ball game. And the pitch is called a ball. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Musselman with a lifetime record of 23 wins and 13 losses. He's had 3 major league saves. He came to the Mets from Toronto in that Mookie Wilson deal. There's ball 2, 2 balls, 1 strike.
Pittsburgh has struggled against the Mets over the years, especially maybe over the last 5 years, but in the last 8 games they've played at Shea Stadium, they've won 6 ball games and on their way to the 7th.
And a little looper into center field, so LaValliere gets a base hit. Not pretty, but it counts.
Actually pretty good hitting, Ralph. Stayed in there real hard with that left-hander. Kind of an inside-out type swing. Throw that ball back through the mound. He has struggled against the left-handers. Usually when a guy is not a big home run hitter, they try to get him to do that.
And it brings up Barry Bonds, who had a big base hit in the 2nd inning to drive in 2 runs with 2 men out. Gave the Pirates a 3-1 lead at that point. They have tacked on 2 more. And the Mets got 1 back, so it's 5-2 in the first pitch, ball 1. Barry Bonds singled after a walk to Neil Heaton, the pitcher, with the bases loaded, got the Pirates on the scoreboard. It was Sid's real bad inning. And a fly ball to left field. McReynolds back to the warning track. Tough play, can't make it. LaValliere going to 3rd now, being waved in as the ball gets away. The throw goes in the 3rd base, and the Pirates pick up another on the misplay in left field, and a 2-base hit by Barry Bonds.
Probably going to be an error called on that play. It's going to be a double and an RBI. If they give the RBI, there's going to be no error. You see, just really kind of lost the ball.
Well, there really should be an error on that play because LaValliere was not going to be sent in.
I agree
if
with
the ball
you,
been
Ralph.
fielded accurately.
No chance could have he scored.
But he is allowed to come on in when the ball gets away from McReynolds, and that makes it a 6-2 ball game and brings up Jay Bell, who is 0 for 3.
It was a very gracious RBI. Spanky there. He moves around those bases pretty good for a big guy.
Looked like Sid Fernandez.
No, he looked a lot better. Sid runs hard too, though.
Well,
Sid
they
runs
run
like
hard.
I did at the end.
Run hard, don't get anywhere. There goes Bonds, and the ball is taken. No throw by Sasser as Bonds just steals it on the pitcher. Musselman didn't pay any attention to him, and Bonds goes over to 3rd, hands down.
Gets his first stolen base of the year, and it was an easy one.
Bonds a good base runner.
Brings the infield in.
Now has 118 stolen bases so far in his short major league career. The infield playing in for a play at the plate with 1 away here in the 7th. Mets trail by 4. And Jay Bell, the batter, takes for ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes.
The bullpen is quiet right now for Davey Johnson.
3-0 the count. And his ball 4. So Bell is walked. And again, the Pirates attack. That'll bring up Sid Bream batting for the first time.
The first baseman, number 5, Sid Bream.
Sid Bream missing most of the season last year. Had 3 different operations on that knee. You see 222 with 4 RBIs, but he hardly had any at bats.
Played in the first game of this series, was 1 for 4. Was only in 19 games last year. So Bonds the runner at third, Bell the runner at first, and the first pitch by Musselman, ball 1. Bream with a lifetime batting average of .262 in the major leagues in 5 years. Has good power to left center. Hits a lot of balls the other way, and this time he pulls it toward the second base side. They'll get 1, and that's about all. And all they'll get 2 is Bream can't run at all. So he is still bothered by that bad knee, and the Mets pull off the double play to get out of the inning. Carry on the ground out. When the Mets were threatening back in the 6th inning, they did pick up 1 run, and the first pitch a called strike. Ruskin broke in against the Mets. His major league appearance was against the Mets, and he struck out Johnson and Strawberry and got McReynolds to fly out to center field in his very first appearance as a pitcher. He started his minor league career as an outfielder and did very well. Batted .355 in 1986, his first year at Bradenton. And the next year he again played the outfield and then asked to become a pitcher. He pitched in college.
Well, he has a super arm. There's no doubt about that.
So he is doing what he wants to do most. He was drafted originally as a pitcher by Cleveland, but didn't sign with them, and then drafted by Pittsburgh and started as an outfielder. This ball hit in the left field for a base hit. So Johnson, after striking out against Ruskin his first time, now singles to left, and the Mets have a base runner with no one out here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Howard Johnson and the Met base runners have to be very conservative, trailing by 4 runs right now. No line drive double plays. Obviously no chance of getting picked off right now.
That was Howard's second hit of the year. His first had been a home run as a leadoff batter in the opening day game. And it brings up Darryl Strawberry. Times he has been up today. And the first pitch, a breaking ball, a called strike, and a good curve. Neil Heaton, the pitcher of record on the winning side for the Pirates. Again, the curveball, it's out of the strike zone. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Heaton finished last season winning 5 in a row. So he's kind of picking up where he left off, although it was not a stellar performance. He pitched tough in certain situations and got out of some jams.
Gave up 1 run on a total of 6 hits, struck out 1, walked 2, and a strike, and it's 1-2 on Strawberry. And the ground ball off the curveball keeps Strawberry alive. The count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Ted Power throwing in the bullpen for the Pirates. Paid crowd here today, 16,544. Total in the house, 16,958. The Mets went into this game with a 20,000 advance. But the cold weather, game time temperature at 50, knocking down the advance sale. And this ball hit in the air to deep left field. It's way back. Bonds to the wall, and he'll get back to it, and he makes the catch. Howard Johnson had moved down to second base, and he now returns to first. So Strawberry's bid for an extra base hit turned away as Barry Bonds makes a fine play, and it's 1 away here in the bottom half of the 7th.
Take a look at it. Bonds turns his back, but he sees it shifts around right at the fence. The ball would have hit the fence on a fly. Another view of it here. Here's Darrell swing. Moves the other way. He's watching. He's hoping, but it's not to be.
Wind appears to be blowing in from left at this point in the ball game, but you can never tell in this ballpark as it swirls around and around. That'll bring up Kevin McReynolds. Kevin 0 for 2 today. Mets trailing by 4, and he fouls off a fastball. Watching today's Mets game on Sports Channel could make you a winner tomorrow morning on WCBS FM 101.1. Be listening at 7:45 a.m. for the Mets quiz with Phil Pepe, and your chance to win Mets tickets on CBS FM 101.1, New York's oldies station. And this one again fouled off, so the count will go to strike 2.
Tell you, it was a shame at the end of last inning to watch Sid Bream run that ball out to first base, Ralph. He was really struggling, wearing that big brace on his knee.
You mentioned, Rusty, 3 operations, and he really is not able to run at all. And the breaking ball for a ball. It's 1-2. That will hurt the Pirates' chances at the pennant chase. One-two pitch hit on the ground, foul to the left side, so the count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kevin McReynolds 0 for 2 today. Mets have been hitting the ball, but not with the consistency they want. They've out-hit the Pirates 8-6. The Pirates have bunched their base hits, and they lead 6-2. Again, the 1-2 pitch. And it's hit in the air down the right field side. A long run for Bonilla, and the ball being blown away and out of play. So once again, McReynolds with a 1 ball, 2 strike count.
Really chilling down here at Shea. Sun is long gone. Wind's blowing firmly. You can see the players are cold on the field.
Totally in the pitcher's favor at this point. And the next pitch is hit hard at the shortstop. Bell, he'll turn it into a double play as he gets the ball to Lean and then Lean on to Bream, and that will get there with 2 doubles and 3 at bats. And he fouls off a fastball. On the mound is Jeff Musselman in relief of Sid Fernandez, a pitcher record on the losing side. And he had doubled in the second to start a 3-run rally for the Pirates, and then doubled in the 6th and later on scored. And it's strike 2. Bonilla's lifetime batting average against the New York Mets is .274. He's hit 6 home runs against the Mets. But here at Shea, he's hit .308. Curveball popped up. Mackey Sassy, the catcher. And he is out. So 1 away here in the top of the 8th inning, and Jeff King will be the batter.
Third baseman
Musselman
Jeff King.
came in the 7th inning, gave up a run. Now working his 2nd inning. King is 0 for 2. Walked and scored in the 2nd. And the first delivery, ball 1. Musselman throws what looks and appears to be a screwball, although he also says he doesn't really throw a screwball. It is a sinking type fastball, and he takes something off of it, and that ball fouled, so it's 1-1. King 0 for 8 so far this year. after a fantastic spring. Batted well over 400 with 4 home runs in spring training. Remember, it was abbreviated. And this one looped out to right. It should drop in and will. So King comes up with his first hit of the year as he singles to right field.
Milt May, the batting instructor for the Pittsburgh Pirates, has some awfully good young talent to work with here, Ralph. I think you look at Bell at short and King at third, and you got Barry Bonds in left. He's really not an old player. He's a young player. Van Slyke in center has had some great years. But Pirates have to be pleased. Jose Lean at second. They've got some pretty good young talent from which to build a strong club. I mean, Bobby Bonilla, maybe one of the better offensive players in baseball.
And Andy Van Slyke, the batter, and a throw to first base. So what you're saying is get good talent and try not to mess them up with your coaching.
That's not exactly what I meant, but
it's about the right philosophy. Talent. And Musselman to the plate. Van Slyke takes the called strike. Andy in this game is 0 for 3. He got a run batted in the 6th when he grounded out. And Musselman misses. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Ruskin, the pitcher, is in the on-deck circle, and the bullpen is quiet, so Leland is going to stay with the young man.
Ground ball to the first baseman, Marshall. He smothers it and then picks it up for the out as Jeff King goes down to second. So that'll bring up Scott Ruskin. Remember, we said he started out his career as an outfielder.
Now we're going to get a pinch hitter now. Now he's got the bullpen rushing out to start throwing. And R.J. Reynolds is going to be the hitter. Reynolds 3 hits. There's Ted Power warming in the
Ladies
bullpen.
and gentlemen, your attention, please. Batting for the pitcher, Scott Ruskin, will be number 23.
Reynolds actually 0 for 2 so far this year.
Both of his appearances have been as a pinch hitter.
He's another one of the Pirates who enjoys hitting at Shea, Ralph. You were talking earlier in the game. Different people enjoying the hit in Shea. Bonilla particularly. This guy's been a 300 hitter plus his whole career at Shea.
Last year hit 270 with 6 home runs, 48 runs batted in. And he's batting with a runner in scoring position. 2 men on top of the 8th. The Pirates leading 6-2. R.J. Reynolds, the batter.
A little too much time by Musselman.
Reynolds came to the Pirates from the Dodgers. And a big slow curveball. It's called a swinging strike by home plate umpire Paul Runge.
Maybe Johnson has his own bullpen going right now. Machado taking some tosses out there.
R.J. Reynolds had an opening day home run off Doc Gooden back in 1986.
Julio Machado.
The Iguana Man.
You like that, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever eaten
I'd
iguana?
like to try it. I really would. Delicacy in Venezuela. 2 balls, 1 strike to R.J. Reynolds.
Do you have any rattlesnake?
No, I haven't done that either, but they say it tastes like chicken.
That's a lie.
Spoken like a man who had one.
It's not bad. It can be good. It's different. It is definitely not like chicken.
2 balls, 1 strike. And it's fouled back 2-2. Shoes, he's known as. He has, they say, somewhat over 200 pairs of shoes. Reminds me of Arthur Richmond.
Yes, Arthur used to buy more shoes. Arthur now with the Yankee organization.
And the breaking ball for ball 3, and that fills it out to 3-2. On deck batter Jose Lean.
A slow-paced game.
And the 3-2 pitch. Swung on and missed, and that retires the side. A base hit and one left. The runner left at second. The score at the end of 7.5 innings. The Pirates 6, the New York Mets 2. His first batter will be the ex-Dodger Mike Marshall. And Marshall hits the first pitch into right center field. It'll be playable for Andy Van Slyke, and he puts it away. So one away, the Mets trailing 6-2. Bottom half of the 8th inning, and the batter will be Mackey Sasser. Sasser, a pinch hitter in the 6th, stayed in the ball game. Grounded out to second as the pinch hitter. Mackey, a .290 hitter last year with 1 home run, 22 runs batted in. At one time, a member of the Pittsburgh Pirates. And the first pitch, a fastball that's hit down the left field side in foul territory. That's a real throwback to the old-time ball players with that chew of tobacco. And his approach to the game.
He's a hacker.
Mackey the hacker. 1-strike pitch. And it's hit hard to the second base side. Good play by Jose Lean as he hauls it out of there on the hop and picks up the out.
Mackey hits it as hard as you can hit it. Jose Lean moving over. Good hands. Gets the old short hop. Picks him clean. And throw him out at first base. Nice play. Tough break for Sasser.
So Jose Lean, who had a lean year last year after a fine year the year before, picks up the assist, and that'll bring up Kevin Elster. Elster 0 for 2 with a walk.
I think the Pirates were most worried about him was on defense, Ralph. He just really kind of lost his edge last year.
Elster takes the first pitch for strike 1. Kevin looking for his first hit of the season. 0 for 7 so far. And Power gets a strike.
There are little battles in the game, even if you're down 6-2, that can mean something the following day. You're looking at one of them right now. For Kevin Elster to get off the mark and to get a base hit right now just might get him rolling in the right direction.
And a good pitch, and that's all. Called strike 3 off the breaking ball, and the Mets go in order. The score at the end of 8, Pittsburgh 6, the New York Mets 2. In the Philadelphia Philly organization, 4 years in their organization, he was 19-20 with 16 saves, then released by the Phillies. Following spring training, he was signed by the Mets and sent to Pensacola on a loan. Pensacola, not a Mets farm club, and they released him. They didn't want him. He was recalled by the Mets, and he was sent to St. Lucie. Worked at St. Lucie, was 1-0. Went to Jackson, was 3-5. Went to Tidewater, was 1-2. And with the Mets 0-1, and he's working to Jose Lean, in the count now 1-1.
So I guess you could say Clint Hurdle turned his career around. Clint, being the manager down there, won a couple of years in a row, is now managing the Double-A club for the New York Mets.
Clint Hurdle doing a fine job.
He's a heck of a man.
There's ball 2, 2 balls and a strike. In the bullpen for the Mets, Pena and Ojeda. Obviously Ojeda, the left-hander, and the breaking ball by Machado called a ball, 3-1. Machado with the Mets last year at the end of the year, very impressive, as Rusty pointed out, with the strikeouts. He did it all with his fastball. And there's a fastball, and it's hit in the air to right center. Strawberry there. Carry on playing his first time ever in center field. Watches Strawberry make the catch.
Interesting to see Davey Johnson do that. There's a lot of comments about Kevin McReynolds being able to move into center field at any time. Carry on, who is normally a left fielder. Davey ran him right out in the middle.
Left-handed throwers in center field always confuse me. Just don't seem like they should be out there. Now the batter will be the catcher, Mike LaValliere, and he takes a fastball for a strike. LaValliere singled in his only at bat in this ball game in the 7th. That came off Musselman, who worked 2 innings, gave up a run, allowed 3 hits. Pitcher of record, Sid Fernandez. He's on the losing side. On the winning side, Neil Heaton. 2 strikes to count to Spanky. A lot of people say that he reminds you of Smokey Burgess, the fine pinch hitter and catcher for the Pirates.
He's a good little player.
Not as good a hitter as Burgess was. Although that's not taking a lot away from him. Smokey was a very good hitter. And that ball fouled off, so it's 2 strikes.
Smokey liked to kill me at first base in my first year or 2. Came in a pinch hitting situation. I forget who the pitcher was. He threw him a changeup. I wanted to kill him. He liked to buried me at first. Hit me in about 4 different spots. He had to come out with 2 of those spray guns that get all the spots he hit me.
Reminds me of the Dick Stewart story. Stewart got hit by one of those line shots that rattled all over him. Hit him about 4 places, went out to right field. He came into the bench and sat down, and he's shaking his head, and somebody said, "What's wrong, Dick?" He says, "Boy," he says, "I'm really slowing down. I used to be able to get out of the way of those line drives." 2-2 the count to LaValliere. And the fastball grounded to the second base side. Jeffries bobbles it, can't find the handle. That'll be an error.
Little break in concentration. Looks like he might have had a spike catch on the mud there too, Ralph.
Yeah, lost his balance.
Let's take another look at it. Watch that foot. Watch that foot right there. See, he kind of moved his body kind of crooked. The ball came up on him a little bit. Just a tough day.
And the Mets trailing 6-2. The Pirates with a runner at first, and Barry Bonds a batter. Barry with a single, a drive, and 2 runs in the second. Big hit in the ball game. Came with 2 men out. Bases loaded. And he also doubled in a run in the 7th. Fastball fouled off, 1-1. Barry Bonds had a very good career. Grew up in Candlestick Park, as his daddy Bobby Bonds played center field for the Giants.
And it got to be rough for him at the end of his career because Bobby really moved around.
He had a